All right, well, hopefully that live thing worked now. Let's see if it did. I'm still waiting for it to come up. Ah, waiting for my little thing to refresh here. Fingers crossed. As you know, I'm not a pro on going live, so hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. Please let me know. All right, so let me know if I sound okay. You guys should be able to hear me now. Let me know if I'm too loud or too quiet. Hopefully we can get that worked out. But hey, everybody, I know we did have some people in here. Let's see if anybody is still around. Hey, Sledneck. Hey, DeBear. Who else? We got J.A. Street. Angelo Poblet. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay. A couple first people in here. Mitchy Mitch 74. Welcome, guys. Sorry. Yes, I do not normally go live, so I have to usually figure out every time I go live how to do it exactly. So forgive me. I'm definitely more of the let me record and edit and take things out that I don't want you guys to see kind of girl. So thank you very much for hanging out, waiting for me while I figured out the do's and the don'ts of using live feature with OBX. So, hey, Jimmy Fast. Looks like we got B. Cross in here, Holy, Deanna Grieve, Robert Selinsky, and Lisa Smith. Hey, guys. It is a cold, rainy day in Maryland, so perfect day to kind of do a live stream. There is so much that I wanted to talk about. So we have heard so much from Forrest lately. We've had a gazillion scrapbooks. We've had a winter weather warning. Excuse me. We've had Dow posted those VOA interviews, which was amazing and gave a lot of fun stuff. Plus, I had sent Forrest an email a long time ago that he never responded to. Well, I sent him pretty much the exact same interview, and not interview, question today via email, and he responded. So at the end, I definitely want to talk about his response to a question. It's something that I would say is a controversy in the community because we know what Forrest has said to the community, and then one searcher claims that he says something to them. So I did ask about that to see exactly what his take was on that, like if he wanted to support it or deny it, decline it, or what he wanted to do. So you'll have to wait to the end to see what Forrest said about that. So, but first, let's talk about some of the stuff that he's been giving us here lately. Okay, so back September 15th, he posted Scrapbook 205. All right, so we had this fabulous scrapbook. He talks about somebody who had passed away um, and how he ended up with this cute little billy goat figure back into his collection, something that he had created many years before. So that was really kind of cool to kind of see a piece of that. Then he went on to put out Scrapbook 206, which, let's see here, just give me a second. Scrapbook 206 was, just talking about our friend in the community, Michael, how a video that he put out, which, props to Michael for getting one of the videos posted on Dale's site. Nice job. Michael is very, 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 very intelligent, and I love hearing his videos and seeing what he thinks and how he talks. So props to him for getting a very special shout out there. Then we go into Scrapbook 207. And let's see here. Where is 207 on my page? 207 kind of talks about, he brings up that whole, the beat of the drum and the whoop of the dance. And I just want to say, if you go back and you read some of Eric Sloane's books, there's one of the books, I forget which one it is, where he actually talks, not verbatim the beat of the drum and the whoop of the dance, but he brings this up as a topic. And I always kind of wondered after reading that book if maybe possibly if this is something that inspired Fenn. Because I think it was one of the books that Eric had written a long time ago. Or actually, I think it was his experience of going to Taos for the first time. So, but in this, he does talk about the cabin that he purchased, and had transferred over to the museum. and how the hammer was hidden under the floorboards. And, you know, as we go through this chase, the whole thing is, how is this treasure hidden? That's a huge thing for us. How is it hidden? And, you know, he's brought up this hammer. I think this is at least a second time he's brought this up, about the, you know, a thing hidden under the floorboard. And then he also talks about um, in the Pueblo thing about how, like, you know, they found a jar under a stone. And I know when I'm searching and I'm thinking about, you know, when I get to that awesome spot, you know, what is that? How is that treasure going to be hidden? What exactly am I looking for? And I can say that I'm definitely looking for something that I have to kind of lift up and look underneath. I would not be surprised. You know, Fenn has said things that, like, you don't have to move any large stones or rocks, and but he doesn't say you don't have to move a small stone or rock or a flat one like a flagstone. So I definitely think that that's a possibility. And let's see here, more people are coming in. We got Jay Minnesota, Jay Tom. Hey, Alan K, how are you doing? Hey, Dirk. Hello, hello. Um, so, so yeah, so let's finish with these scrapbooks. Okay, so that was 207, which came out on September 27th, and just to remind you, he had put out 5 scrapbooks between September 15th and October 4th. That's like 3 weeks. He has put out a gazillion of these things. Okay, not a gazillion, 5 of them, which is a lot for Forrest Fenn. So, scrapbook 208. Let me find that on my homepage here. Like I said, the live stuff is definitely a little bit unusual for me, so forgive me if I'm not perfect. But this, even though it says October 2019, according to the comments down below, it was posted on September 30th. So that's kind of what I'm going by. But his dear friend Eddard passed. It's funny because, like, if you go over on the side here on Dow's site, it has like the Forrest shares things, and somewhere in there he actually talks about Eddard. He is sitting on Eddard's, I think it's an Indian motorcycle. It's a really awesome looking motorcycle. It was a picture of him and Peggy from when they were in high school, and he's sitting on Eddard's bike. And he talked about how his actual name is Edward, but he called him Eddard because it was shorter. So I always thought that was funny. So it was sad to see that he's passing that he passed away. You know, and I'm sure as, you know, Fenn gets close to his 90th birthday, you know, and as he is realizing, you know, his survival of life, how far he's made it and what yet is still yet to come, you know, I'm sure little things like that really do mean a lot to him and really take a toll and make him analyze everything. So, all right. So the next scrapbook, the last one was posted October 4th. All right. And this one here was scrapbook 209. And this was the one about the really cute little dolls. And just give me a second. Here we go. All right. So 209. We get these fun little characters. I mean, come on. I mean, who couldn't fall in love with a face like that? I did try to see what this book the doll was holding, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, here, hold on, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. It's not letting me do it too well at all, actually. Here we go. It's like The Path to Something Happiness by, is that, can't even really see what that is. Sam something or other. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm looking at right now. But it'd be interesting to see if that really is a book. I guess I'll have to look that up later and kind of explore that. Just wondering if that has any additional meaning in there. So yeah. So lots of scrapbooks. And I know there's lots of people out there who are like, well, you know, I just sent Forrest an email and now he posted a scrapbook that, you know, I'm wondering if he's talking to me. Well, I'm not saying that probably Forrest isn't speaking directly to them, but you got to realize what happens in life, okay? My daughter, who's a brilliant 17-year-old girl named Zishan, I am somebody who believes everything happens for a reason, all right? I believe that you go through life, you experience things, and, you know, all those experiences will help you with your next experience. It's what I believe, okay? she counteracts me all the time. She's always like, well, we are human beings. We look for patterns. It is part of our history. It's part of our genetics. It's part of our the way we stay alive. For some reason, I can't think of what that term is. But like, it's just one of those things. If you hear a sound, if historically it's something that you hear a sound and then danger happens, it's our survival mechanism. So we look for patterns. Like, we are pattern creatures. So in my mind, I'm thinking everything happens for a reason. In her mind, no, we just look for patterns. So if Forrest gets an email about something, of course it's probably gonna bring up memories and history, things in his head that he's going to want to share. So that could be possible. So so Lord knows if those scrapbooks really do have any meaning or any clues for this treasure hunt. I think if anything, Forrest just likes to use the community as an outlet to share different things and get things out there. And apparently, he just has had a lot to say here lately, which we need to be thankful for. As for the winter warning that was posted on September 26th on Dow's site, I think it was just that, a reminder to be safe in the chase. I don't think he was saying that, okay, the treasure chest is not in Montana, so stop searching there. Or hey, I don't want my treasure found, so don't look in Montana anymore. I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think it was just a cautionary tale to remind us to be careful because nature can be beautiful, it can be gorgeous, it can be refreshing and rewarding, but it can also be very dangerous. So I think I'm not reading anything more into that than just that. What I will read more into is those VOA interviews that Dow posted. Those, I will totally read into those. And I'm very happy about them, actually. Excuse me, I'm getting actually kind of warm in here. From September 19th, 2019, Fenn did an interview for VOA, and Dow posted 4 of those clips. They're 28 minutes long, broken down into 7-minute clips. And in those clips, you hear some pretty amazing things, okay? You hear that warm water's hot is indeed the first clue. So for all you people out there that keep arguing this is the second time, I think it's the second time, it's at least the second time that Forrest has blatantly said that where warm water's hot is the first clue. Okay? He also said that when you get to the 9th clue, all you have to do is look down and that's where the treasure is. So that would then mean what? That the blaze is the 9th clue, right? Or, if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. That does indeed mean that that's the last clue, guys. So I think there's probably a lot of the community out there who are still going to fight and challenge, where the clues begin and where the clues end. But again, let's go back to the man himself. Forrest is saying this with his mouth. Okay, he's saying first clue, where warm water's hot. He's saying last clue. When you get to the last clue, all you have to do is look down. So to me, that means that the blaze must be the last clue. Okay? I mean, feel free to argue with me all you want. It'll be fine. Gotta see here, over here. Odieso Brit Chaser. You should go through the older 2014-ish scrapbooks. They've got a lot of hints in. Brit Chaser, yes, I definitely feel like they do have some hints or things that we need to think about, consider. Definitely. And then also the other things that I was showing you on Dow's site, like in the other column, like there's all these things that are from the 2014 era. They're just stories and tales, like that picture of Fenn on that beautiful motorcycle from back in the day. So, I mean, yes, maybe I should go through those. Maybe I should. Not today, but I'll think about it. Presumption is the nemesis of success. Yes, I know. But I guess, we're all looking for our own confirmation bias there, Sledneck, and I have personally always felt that you begin it where warm water's hot and you end it where it says, if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. Like, I figured begin and cease were a logical beginning and end to where the clues were, and then everything else is just supporting evidence, supporting information, stuff to support legalities in claiming the chest for yourself. Maybe to help you, like the whole Braven in the Wood, worth your cold. Those were just additional hints, but not necessarily clues. Fenn has said that the clues will actually take you to geographical locations, and if like points on a map, and then if you put them all together, it would be like a map to the treasure, so I've taken that to heart. I know that we're all looking for that that thing that we don't know yet. We're looking for that thing that finally clicks, and I know we're all exploring many options as we do that, but I still have a hard time when I try to play outside of that begin and cease. I don't see how that really helps us too much. So let's see here. Tom Sawyer, this is live. Yes, unbelievably. Shannon is doing a live show. Yes, crazy, isn't it? Yes, Odious Soul is back. I've done a couple videos this summer, not too many. I've actually tried to do things this summer. I've been really busy. I have a Monday through Friday job now, and then on weekends I have my stepdaughter. She's downstairs watching TV right now. I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to break in because she loves being in my videos. And we've actually gone camping. We've done things. We've tried to live. It's like we had the 1 year anniversary of Sammy's passing, right at the same time where we had our wedding. So we went to Mexico. So I've been busy, which is a good problem to have. But I miss you guys, and thank you for having me back. I do appreciate it. Oh, Tom Sawyer used to think Terry Scant was a clue. Now, that was something I will say. I never actually thought Terry Scant was a clue. I just thought it meant, I thought it was a hint. Like one of those things where maybe it's in a place where you can be seen or observed. And if you find the chest, grab it quick and get out of there. I say that because Dow posted, this was like after the interview, so he posted this separately. He posted, it's like 23 seconds or something long. And actually, I think I might even have it. Hold on a second. Let me see. So, again, me with live and OBX, just bear with me. Let's see here. Okay, so, dun, 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 dun. I don't know where this page is. There we go. Okay, so, submitted October 1st, 2019. Dow basically says that he hurried up and quickly turned this on because he heard the interviewer ask Fenn what Terry Scant meant. And so I'm going to play this. Hopefully you guys can hear it. If you can't, I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys heard that. I didn't hear it, so it may not have happened. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I have an internal, like a microphone hooked up, and it might have kept it from actually sounding. But nonetheless, that little clip there, it states, Terry Scant basically means don't hang around. If you got the chest, get the chest and get the hell out of there. And I love it. It's like, duh, yes, Terry Scant means if you find the chest, get out of there. Don't stick around. The question is why. Like, that's what we need to think about. Why? Is it because you are in a national park and you don't want a ranger to see you? Is it because it's near a roadway where people can observe you? Is it because it's near a trail? Maybe not in close proximity, but maybe a trail that another trail someplace can see it and overlook. I remember Forrest did say that when he hid the chest, and when he was coming back, he said out loud, like, I can't believe I did that or whatever. And he was surprised that nobody was around. So those are things that we just need to take in consideration. Why? If like you can go in remote places on Montana and you'll see fishermen in some of the most remote areas of the Madison River, like where there's nothing else around, but there's a man standing there in the middle of the river and waders with a fly rod. So, so the question is, why do you have to get out of there quickly? And I personally think it has to be some place where, it can't be too remote in the middle of nowhere. you know, because I 'cause he definitely walked less than 3 miles round trip twice. I mean, like, you know, it's, I personally feel it's no longer than a mile away from something, and he made 2 trips from his car to the place in one afternoon. So it has to be close to something. Question is, what is it close to? That's the magical question, right? All right, so you guys, let's see here. Hold on, let me go back through here. Let's see here. Yes, well, I didn't miss a season, and honestly, Tom, I will not go back out and search for the chest until I have found what I didn't have the last time I went out. Because when I went out the last time, I was so confident I had the right place, and everything lined up, and then we drive up to it, and my area was freaking huge. Like I own an acre of land. It's not that big. But if I lost something like a watch in my yard, it would probably take me a little while to find it. Well, my search area was a lot more than an acre, and it was covered in rocks. So obviously there was a lot of challenges. Like I do believe that there's a good chance that the treasure is hidden under a rock. Um, Maybe like not buried. I don't believe it's buried under dirt, not like by Forrest Fenn. Now who's to say nature hasn't aided and abetted in that crime? But I do believe it's concealed somehow, and I would not be surprised if it's some kind of flat rock or like a flagstone or something similar. Maybe it's like in a niche in a wall, and then there's like a rock over top of it. I don't think it's a large stone. I don't think it's something where you're going to need 2 people to try to move it. I don't think you need dynamite to blow it up. I think it's something that even somebody who's fairly weak could probably manage. After all, Fenn was 80. Don't forget that fact. But I still think I was definitely missing something, and I want to be more sure before I invest the money to go back out and search. Um, I mean, and that's just what it is. It's just I spent an entire week searching for a treasure in the same area. Like we went back through definitely different areas several times, and we still didn't hit every single nook and cranny. So what am I missing? What what do I still need to figure out in order to be more successful in my next search? And that's kind of where I'm at. Just because I don't have boots on the ground does not mean that I'm not still thinking about it, planning and plotting and figuring out where I went wrong. Okay. But if you are in the completely wrong place to begin with, it doesn't matter how much boots on the ground time you have, you're still not going to find the treasure. So how can I be more confident in where I think it is, and what can I do to get more confident? So that's kind of where I'm at now. Let's see here. What else we got? Yes, J. Tom, I definitely believe that comment definitely establishes that Terry scan is not a clue. And with the additional audio clip Dal put up, that it is not a tar covered rock slab as many believed. Very good. Yes, yeah, very good. Let's see here. Alan K. While you were away, did you hear that Forrest hired lawyers after he hid the chest? I don't think I did. I know that he hired lawyers, and I know I feel like didn't he say like something like $8,000? He spent $8,000 on lawyers. That might just be something that's in my head. I don't know if that's true or not. Do not quote me on that. But I thought he said he spent like a good amount of money to make sure that everything was good. You know, that the person who found the chest would have no problems. But I did not hear. So, Alan, where did that come from? Where did it come from that Boris hired the lawyers after? Can you tell me that, please? Thank you. Jay, Minnesota, get the hell out of there because it's Yellowstone. Possibly, you never know. You never know. I personally would be more worried about somebody else seeing me and coming after me with a gun, because a lot of people in my search state of Montana, they have guns on their hips. I mean, they definitely carry weapons. So and so that's, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You don't want somebody to be like, oh, you found Fenn's chest, give it here. You know, I'd be more worried about that. Let's see here. German translation of the poem was right about Terry Scant. Awesome. Um, Sledneck, I believe Fenn is the master of just wordcraft. He is somebody who frustrates me to no end when it comes to wording, and I'll show you when I show you guys the email. Um, he frustrates me, and he knows he frustrates me. But he frustrates all of us because we all want answers, but he has to play the right game, and he has this beautiful way of answering stuff that doesn't necessarily mean yes, it doesn't necessarily mean no, but makes you wonder if he means yes or if he means no or what exactly is going on in his head. And it frustrates you completely. Tom Sawyer. That's when the real thrill of the chase happens. Make sure if you have a search partner, they stay in the car with the engine running. No, my search partner will be coming with me until the chest is found. I am not trusting myself anywhere without a search partner by my side, just because I have seen way too many big creature bones, which usually means bears or just big creatures. I don't want to die something stupid while I'm out searching for the treasure. So, bye, Jay, Minnesota. Have a great afternoon. Let's see here. I was searching one leg up from your location between the legs. I think we both need to move our search east or northeast. Honestly, Tom Sawyer, like I have been playing with so many different things in that same area. My problem is definitely I keep going back to the warm waters haunt. I focus on probably two clues way too much. Warm waters halt and Homa Brown. And I was actually going to do a Homa Brown video today. But I didn't. I was really hoping for a different response from Forrest on my email, so I'm gonna go back and redo my Homa Brown video. But it's the most frustrating clue out there in the world. But Homa Brown doesn't matter if I can't figure out where Warm Waters Halt is. So, as all of you guys know, I'm in love with Madison Junction as where Warm Waters Halt. I've even played in my mind that maybe it's the border of Yellowstone, because most thermal features are within Yellowstone, and and it halts at the border, or it halts at the edge of the caldera, or whatever. But still, um, what am I missing? Or have I gone too far? And most of the time, I feel like I am going too far. But what is closer that still fits? And I've talked to several other searchers who have great ideas, but it's like that inner voice, that instinctual part of me, hasn't fallen in love with something yet. I hear things, I consider them, I analyze them, I overanalyze them, I think about them again, I overanalyze them a third, fourth, fifth time, and I still haven't felt as passionate about anything as I have my first solve, and I need to get over that. I need to get over it. All right, so let's see here. What else we got? Cynthia and Dow said he hired the lawyer in 2013, 2000. I'm assuming that means 14, Alan K. How do we know that though? I mean, and this is one of the things where we have to really be careful about what people say, because we hear things, and maybe at that time Fenn hired the lawyers because of something else. Maybe not because of the whole. Because Fenn said in one of those very first videos with, what is her name, Lorena Mills, that he hired. Didn't he say back then that he hired a lawyer? And those came out, what, 2010? So maybe he hired a lawyer more for legality over the deaths, or to have any confusion, or maybe because people were asking him to take the chest away. What was the legality of keeping that out there? Maybe it was for other reasons, but we need to make sure we are fully aware of what people say, and versus what Fenn has said. I cannot stress this enough. And so, Alan K, I'll follow back up with you on that though. I'll message you privately later. Let's see here. You can't shoot a gun in Yellowstone, so that makes it safer. Just because you can't doesn't mean people still don't have guns, and that, if something happened where, like, they felt their life was in danger, that, they still might be protected, or if they see you with a treasure chest, they may not still pull it out. I mean, just because somebody's not allowed to do something doesn't mean they don't. I mean, just look at current newspapers. I mean, people do all kinds of things that they're not allowed to do, all the time. So, Slednick says you're wrong. I don't think you're legally allowed to hunt in Yellowstone, if I'm not mistaken, Slednick. But you can still have a gun on you. You're just not allowed to shoot at an animal. Um, you know, at least that's my interpretation. So, let's see here. Oh my gosh, did somebody get shot in Yellowstone? Anyway, okay. Well, anyway, let me move on. But let's go to what I have for the email from Forrest. Okay. So again, my transitioning skills are need improvement. So give me a second. Okay. So this is an email that I had sent to Forrest, and there we go. I sent to Forrest a long time ago, and I'm trying to get, like, we want to look at the one on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm gonna have to go back to OBS and just make sure. I might have to fix this transition here. Hold on. I told you guys, and there's always area for improvement on me with this software. Just give me a second. I'll recrop it so it fits better. Okay. All right. So this is something I sent to him last summer, June 9th, 2018. I'd asked him, hey, hello, Fenn. Cynthia claims you said that none of the clues are associated with the structure. Will you please confirm or deny this as a hint clue? If you do confirm this, I would like to share your email as written on my YouTube channel so all searchers will have access to the truth behind the statement. Well, he never responded to it. He did not respond until he heard about my daughter's death. I believe Joel Lewicki was the one who put it out into the community. And Forrest had heard that way. And then Fenn had emailed me back on that thread, but didn't actually answer to the question that I wanted him to answer, which is not a surprise because he never does. Gotta love the man, even though he drives me crazy. So I emailed him again today, and I said, good morning, Forrest. I'm working on a video today and would love to get your response to this to include in the video and also share with Joel and Calazar's Facebook groups. On the Today Show, you said the treasure isn't associated with any structure. Cynthia Meacham is under the impression that you hinted to her that none of the clues in the poem are associated with any structure. So are any of the clues in the poem associated with the structure? Well, and I said, P.S., I know you hate when I send you emails asking questions, because typically he doesn't like to respond to my emails where I ask him questions. So he sent back, I didn't hint to Cynthia, and I don't believe that she is under the impression that I did. Please send me a link. I always enjoy your videos. Your enthusiasm is contagious. So, of course, I did go back, and I sent him the links to her page where she says that he told her. And I also corrected my speech, and I said, whoops, hold on, let me scroll a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. Excuse me. I said, thank you, Forrest. I enjoy making the videos. Here's a link to where she states that you told her, not that you hinted. And then I also just did a screenshot of what it actually said. And, Cynthia does say that that he told me that meant none of the clues are associated with the structure. So Fenn emailed me back. And let's see here. Hold on. Scroll. And he's like, here in the middle, it says, I don't believe I said that to Cynthia in private. If I say something like that, I will say it to everyone. And of course, I try to get more out of him because, well, who would I be if I didn't? And I was like, so then I guess the question ultimately is, are any of the clues associated with the structure? Is that a statement that you will publicly support? And of course, in true classic Fenn style, he says, I don't want to answer the question, Shannon. Sorry. So this is something that Cynthia believes. And I think this is something that I have a hard time with because I want to know the answer. I know she believes it, and she bases all of her solves kind of around this. Like, something that Fenn said made her believe this. We don't know what that was. Like, we don't have audio of that. We don't know what the context was, but for some reason she believes this. So, having the answer to this, like for sure, if Cynthia is right in her assumption or belief or whatever she has to confirm her belief of it, um, that makes Homa Brown like so much harder for me, and I think that's why Homa Brown is one of those clues where it really like challenges me, and I think about it way too much, way too much. But it's one of those things where, okay, so Fenn is not going to publicly support this. So why? Is it because maybe one or more of the clues is associated with some kind of structure of some kind? So just food for thought there. So, and this is where I go back to be careful what you believe. Just because you hear somebody say something or you hear somebody say that Fenn said something, you never know what the context of that is. It is so crucial and so important to understand, okay? Like, we all know Fenn. We all know how he likes to answer things in weird, strange, annoying ways that makes us think way too much. And it is possible that people can misinterpret it and misinterpret what he says. Okay, we do it all the time. We are constantly misinterpreting what he says, how he says things, all that stuff. So I'm going to go back to the room here real fast. I see a couple odious souls on here. So Anon, hi Shannon, hi Anon. Question: how did the snow impact searching when you went last year? Could you get to the ground? Okay, so when we left, we went out there April 21st, April 22nd. We knew there was still some snow. West Yellowstone had piles of snow. The roads were clear. On the west side of the mountains there, like over by Earthquake Lake and the Slide area, there was like no snow on the ground when we first got there. Coming down from Bozeman, there was hardly any snow. You would see like where the snow had drifted and, into some of like I can't even think half the time, and like the ditches, like those would still have some snow in there, but for the most part there wasn't much snow. So we were like, yay, this is awesome. And then the next day it snowed. So we got like half a day of searching in before it snowed. So we went to Yellowstone for the day and just walked around. Roads were open, so we went to like Old Faithful. We went to like Prismatic Springs. We just did the touristy sightseeing stuff in Yellowstone because I was not searching Yellowstone. And then that snow produced a lot of snow, primarily like in the West Yellowstone area, Yellowstone. The west side of the mountains was not as bad. You hit pockets, so any area that was shady still had snow when we left, which made searching a little bit harder. I remember being out there in a tank top the last 2 days because the sun was hot. Like it was hot, but there was still snow because you have these giant, huge mountains, that are shadowing, casting their shadows on so much area. So there's different areas that don't get a lot of sun throughout the day just because of the grand scale of everything out there. So I would say it was spotty. So I do believe that the snow impacted my search, because it made things harder. I had a walking stick, so we did poke a lot of stuff. We had the metal detector. Anytime there was a lot of snow in an area we wanted to look, we would dig out the snow, or we would use the metal detector to kind of go through it. But I can't say it was a huge deterrent, but then again, we didn't have to hike through a lot of snow. Okay, maybe the one day right after it snowed, we did. I think we had to walk through like a foot of snow to get to where we wanted to go. That was annoying. It just made us more tired. But that was on a flat ground. It wasn't high up in the air. But anyway, but yeah, it was. But the roads were fine when we were there. But we also did not go in the wintertime. It was definitely spring. There was water in the Madison was running very swiftly in many areas. So there was beginning of a lot of the runoff. So um let's see here. Let's see here. What else we got? Tom Sawyer. Cynthia supposedly said that Forrest Fenn told her that Homa Brown is not related to a trout. But when asked if Forrest Fenn told her that, she did not deny it, but said no comments. Well, okay, so again, this is one of those things where you have to look at how Fenn answers questions. Okay? You have to look at how Fenn answers questions. Because, even I know K-Pro talks about this a lot. Fenn will sometimes, you'll tell Fenn something, and um, and he'll say something back to you to make you question yourself. Now, is it one of those things where Fenn is saying it to question yourself because you're right or because you're wrong? And this goes back to how Fenn speaks. He is not necessarily, I don't think, trying to give anybody deliberate clues or answers or hints. I think he just likes to mess with us. Okay? Like, for example, a very well-known searcher had sent Fenn an email. Fenn replied, and in his reply, she concluded that he was telling her that the treasure was no farther west than a certain point. When that email was shared with me, I did not see how she got that. Fenn did not say it. He did not say anything near that. It was like, how in the world did she conclude that? And I think it was because that's what she wanted. She wanted that answer. She wanted something definitive, and she drew her own conclusions. So again, it's just one of those things where we have to be careful. I'm not saying that somebody didn't get, different hints. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that whenever there is somebody who is saying something, we just have to be extra careful in how we accept it into our belief structure with this chase. Like we have heard several people say about the dip the toe in water. Myself, I totally think that we're actually dealing with real water. So to me, I'm not holding it onto as gospel, but I'm also keeping it in the back of my head. And I think that's where we need to be careful. Do not ever base your solve based on what you've heard somebody say that Fenn said. Don't do it. Keep it in the back of your head, leave it back there, and help it make decisions, but do not make it be the basis of any of your decision making. But that's my opinion. I'm full of them. All right. Oh, DeBear said Cynthia interpreted that from another person who talked with Fenn. Gotcha. Or is that with the brown trout? Okay. Oh, Angelo, worth the wait, Shannon. Thank you. Do we all agree that we can only solve Homer Brown when looking at the map location? I have no idea about the Homer Brown, and again, that I keep going back to what is the Homer Brown. I mean, that stupid capital B letter just drives me crazy. I know while I was out searching, like I came across beaver dens, and my brain just like, maybe it's in some kind of association with a beaver den. That's a home of brown beaver. Beavers are brown, right? I don't know if there's a magical map out there somewhere that has some kind of home of brown. Lord knows I probably do most of my Google searching based around the home of brown clue. No lie. Like that's probably what 85% of my searching and wondering and just looking is dedicated to. Very sad to say. Lisa Smith asked, maybe if you asked, not associated with the man-made structure. Well, originally Fenn in the Today Show had said the treasure is not associated with the structure. So I didn't want to insert man-made structure in there just because I was trying to stay consistent with his remark on the Today Show. That's why I didn't. But yeah, no, he didn't even want to answer structure, let alone if I enter man-made structure. I mean, I don't know. We'll Lord knows what I'll ask him next week. I don't always get responses. He's been pretty good lately, but I only probably email him maybe once a month, just to check in on him. Very rarely do I actually ask him questions. Let's see here. The same information is in Cynthia's book as well, which I'm sure Forrest has a copy of. Probably. But and it's not the first time that Fenn, because I said I sent Fenn an email a year ago, and it was a short email. It wasn't too long. We all know that Forrest does not like to read long emails. He'll skim for keywords, just in case somebody is near the treasure spot. So I try to keep my emails short, but he didn't reply to that one. So So he had heard it before. So I'm just kind of curious if Fenn will come out with another scrapbook in the next week that might kind of answer that question. You never know. You never know. That was an early spring. This year was different. Sledneck was talking about my spring. Yeah, we definitely got very lucky. And this is the one thing too. Like, don't forget there are traffic cameras all over the U.S. Okay, so I knew my search area, and I found the closest traffic cameras to my search area, and we were keeping an eye on those traffic cameras to view how much snow, what the conditions were, because I was not going out there if my search area was covered in 2-3 feet of snow. So fortunately, it did heat up. We did get really lucky. Like I said, we did lose a day of searching because it did snow. But yeah, view the traffic cameras because you'll definitely see it. Because I know West Yellowstone's traffic cameras were showing a lot more snow than my search area, which was I was very happy about. So keep an eye on the traffic cameras. Don't try to rush out there and go too soon because the last thing you want is to have the problem I did where there was a lot of snow pockets, and then leave and just keep wondering, oh, what's a treasure underneath one of those mounds of snow that I couldn't get under? Like you don't want to have that. So, but the traffic cameras will definitely help you gauge your search area's conditions a little bit better. Minotaur Marino, do you feel the hints in the book that help you solve the clues all use the same methodology, or all completely different in how they help you solve each clue? Oh man, when it comes to the hints in the book, Lord only knows. I think what I feel are hints in the book. I think my opinion of that definitely constantly changes depending on where I'm searching, what I'm researching, what I'm looking up. I don't think that they're necessarily all just flat out or use the same method. I do believe that there's probably somewhere where you have to cross a road or cross something. That whole no place for biddies chapter, always come back to that. Like, do I have to cross the road? Do I have to cross the river? I think there is some kind of crossing someplace because of that chapter. So that's just one of the things that I constantly come back to and keep asking myself in the head. So that's one of the things there. J Tom, yes. I mean, I think Fenn. I know Fenn does watch some of the videos. I know he keeps up a little bit, but no, is he on the blogs? I doubt it. Is he on the Facebook groups? I doubt it. I think he does watch some of the videos. You know, but there's so many videos out there. Oh my goodness, there's so many new Fenn tubers out there. Like, oh my goodness, like I was just kind of going through the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's all these new people. I need to like listen to their things, and some of their thoughts are way out there, but I mean, it's good to hear other people's way out of the box ideas just to kind of help you kind of reel yourself back in. But there's so many new Fenn tubers, but he does watch some. I'm sure as long as I don't always, I occasionally remember to send Forrest the links to my videos, just to have him watch. And you know, I know he keeps trying to get me to do like an autobiographical video, and I keep postponing it. I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, what exactly do I want my story to say, to tell? Like, what exactly do I want to share? Like I have quite the history. So what exactly do I want my story to be? And I think that's one of the great questions, and I think that goes back to why Fenn hid this treasure. Is like, how do you want your story to be told? How do you want to be remembered? Do I want to be remembered? Oh, I won't even go into my own thing. But anyway, but I think it's like, if you can control your own narrative, what do you want your narrative to be? It's like, you think it might be easy to begin with, but then you're like, wow, like, wait, hold on a second. Do I want to tell people that? Do I not want to tell people that? Okay, if I do want to tell people that, how do I want to spin it? So no, I keep procrastinating. All right, let's see here. Alamo Rose asks, why would Forrest read Cynthia's book? You never know. You never know why Forrest would read a book, or why he wouldn't. I mean, Forrest is an avid reader. I'm sure he's probably read a couple pages. I mean, I'm sure probably Cynthia's given him a copy. I mean, why wouldn't she? I know she has visited him with a few times, if probably even more than a few times. So why wouldn't she share a book that she wrote based on his treasure hunt? Now, did he read it? Did he quickly skim it? Like, Lord only knows. So that's a good question. It's a very good question. Bye, Robert Selinsky. I know you left a couple minutes ago, but bye. Hope you have a great afternoon. Brit Chaser's like, Forrest definitely read Cynthia's book. Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I have met lots of people who say they read books, but they actually just kind of skim them and, they're looking for things. So let's see here. All right. If you have the correct, Jason Dent says, if you have the correct Where Warm Waters halt, the home of Brown should be obvious. Well, I challenge that, Jason, just because Fenn said people have figured out the first 2 clues and walked completely past the next 7. So I think Home of Brown is probably the hardest clue in the poem, in my opinion, of course. If people have figured out where Warm Waters halt and taken in the canyon down, which is what I believe are the first 2 clues, then they've completely gone by Home of Brown and didn't even notice. Now, was it because Too Far to Walk is farther than they thought, or too close, or sooner than they thought? But I believe Home of Brown is the hardest clue in the poem. I know Fenn has said they get progressively easier, but I still challenge that. I am not in that mindset where I think Home of Brown should be easy or obvious. I think it's something that we definitely don't know for sure. Now, if you do have the right Where Warm Waters halt, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like I got the right Where Warm Waters halt, but I still challenge myself daily trying to find a better one. So yeah, Redneck Express, I do agree. Beaver dams do come and go. However, historically, unless it's an area where they have purposely hunted the beavers and gotten them out of there, beaver dams typically stay in the same general vicinity. Like, the beavers don't tend to move too much. They don't, like, unless they all die off and then there's no longer there. They typically stay there. I know I watched a video about Yellowstone, about, was it the beavers? Where was it? Was it Harlequin Lake? Sludnick will probably know. Um, it was one of the lakes where the beavers, like, they've been there for like hundreds of years. Um, but I'm trying to think. I'm gonna have to go back on that. But beavers don't tend to migrate. They tend to stay more to their central location, and then they just keep. And yes, flooding and things can tear apart their dams, but generally speaking, the beaver dams stay in the same area unless they're hunted or forced out of it by people. Just at least that's from the research that I found. Because yes, I've challenged myself on the whole beaver dam thing. So um, Craig Hart. No, I'm gonna leave the whole thing with Forrest alone. I'm not gonna send him an email and remind him that it's in her book. I'm not gonna say that. I have learned to only push Forrest so much. So, and hold on, I got a new email. Let me just make sure that it's not Forrest. Nope, it's not Forrest. Okay. I just thought I would check just to make sure to see if he wanted to send something back real fast. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, listen, I have to hop off here. Um, I got too many things. Oh wait, hold. K-Bro's here. K-Bro, hey girl, what's up? Let's see here. I just want to see. I was out doing errands. It was Shannon. Yes. After, I would like to email you with a question. All right, she was talking to Brit Chaser, but still, I just saw her pop up. And anyway, guys, thank you so much for hopping on for a live show. I know I don't do these very often, and I know I'm not very good at the live shows, but my skills will get better. I promise. I'll try to work on that. But thank you all. I hope you enjoyed. Yes, and then feel free to definitely leave your comments as to why you think Forrest has definitely stepped up his communication here lately with the scrapbooks and the winter weather warning, and what your opinions are about that whole VOA thing. So, those interviews and what he said. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. So take care, have a good one, and talk to you soon.